Hi there, and welcome back to the Fed Talks. My name's Nathan Hall, and today we're joined by One Stop Franchise. We've got Taranjit Dhillon on. Taranjit, first things first, how are you doing?
I'm very well. It's a privilege to be here, Nathan. So thank you for the invite. I'm looking forward to this.
Top man. So, Taranjit, on the 28th of September, we saw for the first time a One Stop Franchise conference. Now, I've seen some pictures and they look brilliant, but we're just going to go into a bit of depth on it today. So, first things first, what were the main objectives of the conference, and do you feel that they were achieved?
I think the main objective was to bring all of our franchisees together and start the engagement directly with our leadership team.
Yeah.
So it was an opportunity to unify the whole network, set a clear direction for the future of One Stop Franchise for our franchisees, and to gain a bit of insight on what our franchisees feel about the business and how we've been progressing for the last 10 years. So have we achieved them? I think it was a great opportunity to do all of that together. And I think we've done really well for our very first conference. The feedback that we've had from our franchisees is phenomenal.
Sounds good. You mentioned at the start there getting the franchisees themselves and leadership together. So how did they collaborate on the day, and what was the benefits that came back from that collaboration?
So we had different methods of collaborating. So we had panel discussions. So we had our own franchisees coming on stage to talk about various topics.
Right.
This allowed franchisees to hear the views of other franchisees. We also had the main leadership also on stage presenting various elements of the franchise business model. We took time to take questions, but we also had a Slido method of getting questions in. But then we also took to an open mic because we wanted to be in a place where we could be. We were in a place where we can address questions upfront and with honesty and integrity. And I think a lot of our franchisees appreciated that.
Absolutely. It sounds like a top-notch day. So do you think that this conference, the first time you've done it, do you think this could have a part to play in the growth of the One Stop Franchise estate?
Absolutely. So you got to remember, we've been now running a franchise business model for 10 years. This felt like the right time to introduce a conference to bring everybody together. It allowed us all to share best practice, share experiences, give a lot of feedback into the business. A lot of our franchisees absorbed a lot of ideas from each other, which was absolutely great to see. It set the foundations of what the future holds for us. And like I said, it's our very first franchise conference, and we've set the bar really high with our franchisees. So next year it can only be bigger and better, I guess.
Absolutely. And it sounded like a day that was a fountain of knowledge, so much information shared. But what would you would say is the one real takeaway from the day? What's the biggest takeaway that you had?
Wow. One of the biggest takeaways is how happy our franchisees are from what we do. But happiness doesn't stop in the form of business. It's how well they work together as well. So a lot of our franchisees share best practice with each other, and a lot of that was seen on the day how we all came together. But what we've been able to really take away from it is what the thinking is behind the business model, where we're heading. We've been able to get back a lot of feedback, which is going to now help us to formulate our next steps, our next strategy. So when we're presenting our franchise conference next year, we're in a place to say, this is what we've done, this is how we've progressed, this is where we're at, and this is what the future now holds again. So being in a place to take it back to our franchisees is going to be great for them to see what they've said to us. We've listened, and I think that's the biggest takeaway for myself personally.
Certainly, Taranjit. All in all, sounds like a brilliant event and day. That comes to the end of the conversation. Thanks so much for joining us, first of all, and enjoy the rest of your day, Taranjit. Thank you.
There is only one more thing I want to add on, Nathan. I just want to say you've done a great piece of work recently on mindfulness.
Yeah,
So keep up the good work and what you're doing by pioneering that campaign forward.
top man. Thank you, Taranjit.
No problem.